Another day of practice here for the New York Giants in OTAs is officially wrapped up once again, and today was a very interesting day. Not only did we get to see practice open to the media, so we have brand new highlights, news, notes, observations, but we also saw a lot of 7-on-7 work, a couple of guys starting to stand out, building rapport and connection with quarterback Daniel Jones. We also saw Theo Johnson and Malik Neighbors and new look Brian Burns coming over here in New York. So we have a lot to talk about here in this video. Before we jump in though, I need you guys to do me a big favor. Hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. It's free, doesn't cost anything. But also, make sure you guys comment down below. Who do you think on this team right now is going to have the biggest impact day one as a newcomer? Now, that involves rookies, new signees, veteran players who are coming over here. Let me know in the comments down below. Who do you think will have the biggest impact? Is it a guy like Brian Burns? Is it a guy like Tyler Nubin, Malik Neighbors? Let me know in the comments. But with that being said, let's jump back into the video. Now, a very interesting part of practice was actually pre-practice, right? Press conference, right? We got to hear a little bit from, the coach. He actually said that, Cordell Flott could be a starter if the season started today. And then the Giants DB coach, Jerome Henderson, also said the same thing. He was quoted saying Cordell Flott would be cornerback 2 if the season started today. So that was something that I was really intrigued by hearing. Obviously, when you look at that DB room, you look at guys like Deonte Banks, Drew Phillips, but now Cordell Flott looks like he has taken over and will be a guy that should, or at least has the keys to be a starter come day one of OTAs, minicamp, training camp, preseason. We'll see how that works going forward. Jerome Henderson also said Deonte Banks would be the other starter alongside him. And he also said Flott has been tremendous, and they are pushing each other each and every single day at practice. We also heard some more news for training camp. The Giants will have joint practices. They will be going over to the Jets and having practice over in, their area. But also the Detroit Lions will be coming to New York to the Giants facility to have joint practices with them as well. And those are always so interesting, especially when you have a team like the Lions who are so hard-nosed. Those could get a little bit gritty. So definitely excited to see those. We also saw, they said John Runyon will be at right guard today and Jermaine Illuminor will be at left guard. Now, when you look at the offensive line, the makeup of the offensive line, you have Andrew Thomas on left, you have John Runyon, who is a guy they like a lot. Initially thought he'd play left guard, but again, today, they're moving him over to the right side. Jermaine is going to go from the right to left. So they're kind of just experimenting right now. Can these guys flip-flop? Can they play these other positions? Because, if there's an injury to, one of them might have to move to the upside side. So obviously just trying to see what they got. Also, John Michael Schmitz, he looks like, or Michael, is it John Michael? It's John Michael Schmitz, right? Or Michael John, I don't know. But he will be your starting center. And then Andrew Thomas left side. Evan Neal, we'll see what happens with him. But things looking good so far for the O-line. Again, won't know too much more until the start of pads and contact and whatnot. So definitely excited to see what happens in that aspect of practices. Maybe mandatory minicamp, we get some pads on. But other than that, we do have a lot of 7-on-7 work in today's practice. Now, before we get into the 7-on-7s, make sure you guys do me a big favor. Subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. And we will be covering the Giants throughout the entirety of the offseason, right? Including OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you guys can think of, we've got you guys covered. So you might as well do yourself a favor and join the family right now before it's too late. I mean, I guess never too late, but, come on, do me a favor. I'm also very curious to see what you guys think about the backup running back position. It seems like Devin Singletary, it's his job to lose at the RB1, but behind him, there's a lot of guys I really do like. Eric Gray, for example, is a guy I think could be a day one starter at the NFL level in a couple of years from now. Has a lot of work that needs to be done, but don't sleep on him. And then you got Tyrone Tracy, you got Gary Braywell, you got Jay Sean Corbin. A lot of guys I actually really do like from this team, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens going forward. Now, 7-on-7s was interesting. We saw a couple of days ago, rookie receiver Malik Neighbors did come down with a touchdown. Likely two of them if it was a live game. But, there was a live scramble by Tommy DeVito during 11-on-11s in the red zone. He ended up finding Malik Neighbors on a couple of them, and probably would have been 2 touchdowns. So Malik Neighbors also looking really good. Daniel Jones kicked off 7-on-7 red zone drills with a completion to Neighbors as well. Receiver took it off the sideline, no contact, so we don't know if it would have been a touchdown or not. But either way, Malik Neighbors is starting to build a good amount of chemistry with Daniel Jones. We saw Drew Lock take some snaps at quarterback as well. He had a handful of throws, including one to Tyrone Tracy, had a couple to Miles Boykin. Even saw Gunner get some catches as well. Now, the big thing about this team right now is, again, we go back to that running back position, man. Eric Gray looks good. Eric Gray looks really good. He had a touchdown as well. I believe in day 2 was when they were saying he was looking really good. Defensive back Jalen Mills had the lone interception of day 2 as well. So just a bunch of things to take note here. We're getting to see Brian Burns continue to work here. The D-line here in New York looks, oh my God. This D-line next year could be insane, right? You talk about the addition of Brian Burns with Kayvon Thibodeau could only make his job easier, but you still have a guy like Dexter Lawrence at nose tackle who looks insanely massive. So I think they're making all of the right moves here so far during camp. And again, we're going to get a lot more news and notes as the pads come on, as things start to ramp up a little bit more. But as of right now, the Giants look really, really tough. And I know it's just OTAs, and that's pretty much what you're going to see around the league. But the thing to take away is just the fight, the will to get better, and the mentality just seems a little bit different this year. Now, one of the main things we're going to have to keep an eye on going forward is Daniel Jones, right? They brought in so much talent to make sure that he has every single opportunity in the world to succeed, right? You bring in John Runnan, who's a really good, pass blocking guard. You bring in Jermaine Illuminor, who's better than anything that they had last season at the guard position. Even could play tackle if you need him to as well. You sign Allen Robinson. I know he's not going to be a big time addition, but you just talk about the veterans that you bring in with Isaiah McKenzie and Allen Robinson, but also still Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slay, and Isaiah Hodgins as well. The wide receiver room is extremely deep. They are literally setting him up perfectly. You have Daniel Bellinger if Darren Waller doesn't come back. You have Theo Johnson, who's starting to look good here at OTAs with Daniel Jones as well. They connected today as well. So, I mean, listen, this is going to be a big year for Daniel Jones, and I'm excited to see what he does going forward. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. I will be posting a lot more Giants videos over the next few days here, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in part 2, which should be coming out tomorrow. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys then. Peace.